What's up to all those alone in the zone? It's the mechanic of the graphics, John Eli Lopez, back once again on a mission to get you one step closer to being the king or the queen of the pencil. And today I will be drawing one of my favorite anime characters, Naruto, using the Copic markers. This time I will be using no color pencils. If you'd like to follow along, all you would need is a pencil, some markers, and a good reference photo. Okay, so let's get started. Remember, you don't need a fancy set of markers to add color. You're really working on your drawing skills, and the coloring will be secondary. So if you don't have the right utensils, don't worry about it. You are really working on your drawing skills. Okay, well, first I'm starting with the action line. Um, and this is a photo that caught my eye, and it's of Naruto holding a blade. And I spoke before about um, trying to make sure and use real reference photos. But for something like an anime character, you will be hard pressed to find any real life photo. So you have to work off of a drawing that someone else did. But remember, you do not have to incorporate every line that the artist did. You can add your own flavor to it. And one of the main things I did when I saw this photo was add an action line, uh, and where I wanted one of Naruto's the top peak of his hair to end. And that action line runs through the middle of his face and through his chest area. And one of the main things was trying to get his hair and his face to resemble Naruto as we know him, right? So even if you're using someone else's drawing, you're still challenged with getting that resemblance because you're definitely, uh, you know, I would hope that anyone watching this video or is following along is past the level of tracing. Tracing is when you are really fresh. You are, you know, I don't want to knock anyone, but tracing is when you are really new to trying to draw. But it does have its merits. But for what we are doing here, you are visually interpreting someone else's drawing into your own style. And as you see, with something like this that, I know I'm going to add color to, I want to make sure that my pencil sketch has all the pieces and all the elements in before I start adding color. And I'm using the Copic markers, but, you know, uh, I'm trying to get all my line work tight and dark as I can get it. And something like Naruto, any character that is known, you won't need to incorporate all the pieces, or it's just gonna throw him off. And something like this guy Naruto is a lot of little pieces that makes him Naruto. Right? So once I'm happy with my pencil drawing, we are just going for it. And, I started with the thin Sharpie, and I realized, lucky thing I did not go on. Some of his hair is hanging over that bandana. So So you make sure and get that in. And you want to be confident with your lines because, any wiggling, it does not look right. It's going to throw it off. So just make sure. That's why you want to, get your pencil work as tight as you can get it. So once you move on to the markers, you are just confident and you're just going for it. And definitely it's all about, confidence once you're getting that line in. So if you notice, when I'm putting my line in, it's just one even flow. So even if you need to do dry runs, which is you just do the movement of your hand before you really even do uh, let the marker touch the paper. That is a good thing to do also. And even here with the blade, I wanted to make sure that line is just straight. So I went and got my ruler and made sure I got the lines as straight as I could get them. Every other line, I, I trusted in myself, but for something like a blade, you just want that to look sharp and deadly. So once all my lines in, get to that kneaded eraser and just erase any stragglers, any loose lines. But before you get to that kneaded eraser, you want to make sure that everything is as you want it, because you might erase a line that you need and have to draw it back in. Okay, I forgot to put the ends of the the bandana wrapped around his forehead, but that was an easy fix. Just added that in there. And Naruto is coming together. Now we are moving on to the face tones. And for this, I didn't have the exact tone in the Copics, so I'm using Tombow dual brush pens. And this one I thought matched up his skin complexion a little better than what I had on hand with the Copic. So this is definitely a mixed marker blend we going on here with. And now we're just getting the highlight areas. And mind you, when you're using photographs, you just or drawing someone else did, you get it as close as you can get it. If you don't have the exact colors, you improvise. Just adding the darker gray here. But I wanted to make sure I knew where the highlights were first before I came with the darker gray of his jacket here. And for that, now we are using the Copex. The Tombow was only for his face. So the Copic markers are being used for the majority of this, but all these markers blend well together, and I have nothing but good things to say about the Copic and the Tombow markers. And it is a lot of different grays. Now we're just moving on to the yellow of his hair. And sometimes, when you do a tight pencil drawing, I know a lot of people are sometimes scared to even add color because you think you're going to mess it up. You just have to keep going, because I found myself kind of wondering the same thing, because I liked the way the pencil drawing came out. Then I said, once I start adding color, I am stuck with it. It either it comes out good or it comes out terrible, and I'm gonna have to maybe start over. But once I started adding the color, I am stuck, and I just have to keep going until it is to my liking. And I knew as I'm moving on here, I'm like, there has to be a turning point, and that is when I start adding the darks in. So I'm still laying down the lights, and I made sure the blade was a different gray from like his jacket. It's all these little pieces that's just gonna bring everything together. So only for his complexion, I'm using the Tombow, uh, the brush pens. You add a little gray from the markers to add some shadow on his jacket there. And I'm building up slowly, getting to the darker areas now. But the shadow from his hair, the wrinkles on his headband. Now we're starting to put the shadows in, and to me, this is where everything starts to really come to life once all the white areas are covered. And the only whites that you're gonna have is reflective light. And this is where it depends on what material you're using, how you put it together. So now in the blade, I'm trying to use all the grays now and one other tone that I did not use in his jacket to kind of separate the blade. And now we're just adding the little shadows in his hair. I wanted that to be separated a little more. So just trying to get that a little darker. As with his face also. Wanted the shadows to separate more. And a good thing to get that effect you want is you can go over it with the same color you used before, or one a shade darker. It's all a back and forth kind of thing. And the only color pencil I used was a little highlight on the headband. That was some white. You saw I snuck in the white color pencil there, and that was just a little highlight on the top of his headband. And a little darker Tombow brush pen. Just some shadowing, the dark gray, the white color pencil for the highlighted areas. And this is where you get to the point of everything else. So it's just a back and forth with all of the same highlight. Get some highlight areas in there. Black color pencil. Some more gray tones. There you have it. Naruto is done. Very nice. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, got some value from it. If you did, slice that subscribe button, hit the like, leave a comment. Did I leave anything out? Should I have added something? Would you like me to let you know what markers I use, the colors? Any feedback will be appreciated. So until next time, John Eli Lopez signing out. Y'all be good and be safe.